Was health particularly an important issue?
Oh, yeah, at
Was
that
health the
time,
right issue that?
at that time it was, because I mean, like most of these old coal camps, when the companies ran them, they had a company doctor. You know, my aunt, my great aunt was married to one of the company doctors in Beach Grove for a long time, you know, and then she ended up working for another one when he moved on. And every coal camp had its own little company doctor, you know. The miners were assessed so much money out of their paycheck, you know, each month to pay the doctor's fee. And so they had that, but that's the only health care that they had while the coal companies ran things. Once the coal companies began to decline and the old company stores shut down and the land companies no longer were in the business of mining coal and providing all those things, none of those coal camps had any kind of health care whatsoever, and the roads were horrible. I mean, you know, in the earliest years, I mean, way back long before my time, and, you know, certainly long before the coalition, and some of those coal camps you couldn't even get in by road. The only way in was on the railroad. That was the whole way to get to some of those places, because they built a railroad to bring the coal out. And you didn't give a damn about the people, whether they get in them now or not. And so, you know, it wasn't much improved in the early 1970s in some places. Stony Fork had a road that was horrendous, you know. I mean, there's 37 or 38 switchbacks on that mountain road going over from Carroll. And if the hurricane hadn't destroyed the road and you know, forced people to have to come in and rebuild it, they still wouldn't have a road over there. But, you know, the same could be said of Norman. He was very isolated. You know, Petros, you know, wasn't that as isolated as some of them from Wartburg, but certainly from Oak Ridge or from where most medical practitioners live. It was a long ways off.
Yeah, many people traveled as much as an hour to get to a doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, would have to travel that far. And the other complicating factor was that, like in Clearfield, where I live, there several times a year there would be giant landslides from strip mining. It's totally unregulated, and they would completely cover the road. There was one road that went in and out of the community.
Hey, Highway 90 was shut down for 2 weeks this winter over a slide.
Is that right? But kids
From an
couldn't
old
get to
mine
school.
to an old slide.
Kids couldn't get to school. People couldn't get to the doctor. Couldn't get to the hospital. So I mean, tremendously isolated. Yeah. So there was tremendous need for health